Welcome to my final guide for Sonic X Shadow Generations. It's time. I've put this off for far too long, and now we just gotta do it. Here's the best strategy I found to defeat the Time Eater without taking any damage and getting the can't touch this trophy / achievement. Take it away, Johnny.
The Time Eater. Jesus Christ, this has to be the worst final boss in 3D Sonic.
Here's what you need to know about the Time Eater before you enter the boss fight. Number 1, the structure. To defeat the Time Eater, you must attack it 3 different times and then finish it off with a right plus left bumper special attack. Obviously, that's much easier said than done, but hopefully the video should help. The first phase is usually fully 3D, the second phase is a mix of 3D and 2D, and then the third phase, you just gotta watch out because that's the phase that makes or breaks your run. You've also gotta familiarize yourself with his attacks. You cannot get hit by the homing shots, which are the missiles that he shoots out, any of his swipes, none of his claps, and you've especially got to be mindful of his laser attack, which is the deadliest and can ruin runs in seconds. Throughout the fight, you're also going to notice a lot of floating debris, and it's totally okay if you get hit by those, you'll still get the trophy. Ideally though, you shouldn't ever get hit by them because you could just use the homing attack to use Classic Sonic to break through them all. Also, in case you're wondering, yes, you can in fact hit the edges of the space-time tube that you're in and still get the achievement / trophy. Alright, with all of that in mind, let's get into the fight. So when the fight starts, you're going to want to boost into the trail of rings as soon as possible so you can get up to at least 70 rings to start. During the first phase, stick to Modern Sonic and keep holding down the boost until you see a bunch of debris that you can homing attack with Classic Sonic. The debris really slows you down, so just try to get them out of the way. Stick to an elevation that is slightly higher than the center of the tube so that you can bait the Time Eater to swipe you from the top and instantly get out of the way by going straight down. This will guarantee not getting hit by the swipe, and you can just boost back up to the center and remain at the same speed so that you can get to the core of the Time Eater much quicker. However, if you are more familiar with the swipe pattern and know exactly where his hand is going to go, then you can just go upwards and dodge it. As you're boosting and approaching the Time Eater's core, you're going to notice that his hands are starting to glow green, which is an indication that he's about to clap. Just make sure that you boost slightly above or slightly below where he's about to clap in order to maintain your speed so that you can continue to boost into the core right after that. After boosting into the core for about 2 to 3 seconds, you should be done with that phase. You'll know you did it correctly when the environment starts to change colors. A ton of rings are going to start coming out, so boost into them as soon as you can. During the start of the second phase, you're going to notice something that I really need to highlight right off the bat. The tube will start changing the direction which it is leading you through. If you notice that the tube is starting to go downwards, then you really need to let go of the boost if you're near the top of the tube so that you can adjust yourself to be back in center and continue boosting to maintain the speed. During the second phase is when the boss is really going to start using his homing shots, and as the name implies, the shots target you, so as long as you get the shots to target you and then move out of the way right when they're about to hit you, you should be okay. It's pretty much all there is to it. Just bait the shots to a certain point and then move away from that shot when the missiles are about 1 or 2 seconds away from hitting you. Then the Time Eater will enter the 2D plane, and you've got 2 options here. 1, you could either stay in the 3D plane, or 2, you could switch to Classic Sonic and go after it. Now personally, what I recommend doing is going into 2D as Classic Sonic, getting the rings because it's usually a lot easier to get the rings in 2D, and then switching back to Modern Sonic so you don't have to worry about any of the swipe attacks, but you're still going to have to dodge the homing shots. You might as well just stick to 3D for the most part. Eventually, the Time Eater will re-enter the 3D plane, and as long as you're still boosting, you should be on track to hitting the core very soon. Dodge the homing shots, and again, whenever you see the swipes, go far completely in the opposite direction, and you shouldn't have to worry about ever getting hit. Sometimes, like in the footage here, you're going to notice that the fight can be a little bit janky. Even if you're boosting into the core, he might try and do another attack which will take you away from that core right while you're doing the attack. So you might not be able to get to the second phase during that one boost. You might have to just go back in and do it again. It's really annoying, but just keep that in mind. Once again, after attacking the core, you're going to know when you're in the third phase after the lights start flashing around you and the Time Eater is going to lose its legs. Again, just watch out for his usual attacks like the homing shot or the swipes. Eventually, he will do a new move where he freezes time. Honestly, it's really not much of a problem. It just barely slows you down a bit. It's really not that big of a deal. When things get really interesting is again when he starts firing his laser. All you have to do is pay attention. You're going to hear this sound. And once about 2 seconds has passed, switch to the other plane so that you can avoid the attack. You can constantly switch as well, and that should help too. That's all there is to it. So right when he's about to fire his laser, just switch planes and you won't get hit. Switch back to the 3D plane, keep holding the boost down, and try your best to get as close as possible to the core, dodge all the attacks, and once you've made it to the core, boost into it, and that should be it for phase 3. All you gotta do now is hold LB and RB down, and you've beat the most frustrating boss in the entire game without taking any hits and getting an S rank. So there you go guys, hopefully you've enjoyed the video, and thank you so much for all the love and support. I really appreciate it a ton, it means a lot to me, and this year has been absolutely phenomenal. It's been such a pleasure seeing all the hard work I've put into these guides do well, so thank you so much, truly. Although I'm done with the Generations guides, don't worry, this isn't the end. Plenty of guides coming soon for Shadow the Hedgehog, tons of other Sonic games, and hopefully a variety of different video games soon. Peace out, guys.
Thank you for watching this video. Shout out to Sonic Heroes 54, Azora, Shadow Tart, Rewind Plays, Harry Short, James, Tails the Fox, and MLM0130, the Tunes Maker, for becoming channel members. If you'd like to become a channel member, be sure to hit that join button, and I'll see you guys in the next one.